Big day outside of London Stadium after West Ham's 1-0 robbery against that lot. Luke, it's hard not to feel anything but anger and frustration at this moment in time, isn't it?
That's the word, robbery. It's I mean, when it's on, if you have to go to the screen to have a look, it's not clear and obvious, and it's all on that referee, and he's going to give it their way, isn't it? There's a lot more pressure for a title chasing side than a relegation threatened side. Yeah, I don't know what to say really, but absolutely gas pissed at full time. What can you do?
I'm still fuming. Anyone who knows me knows that I've got a real deep hatred of that football club. It's so gutting, but we deserve something from that game, didn't we? The performances deserve something.
There was a lot of heart, and you just think, why couldn't we have done that against Brentford? Leave it late. 2 games to go, but it's horrible to have to rely on Tottenham now tomorrow. And and I know people talk about we're undoing a lot of damage from the start of the season, and you can blame Potter, you can blame Lopetegui. There's a lot of players there who are still, part of the squad that were responsible for that, and you can blame the stadium. I do think the board are to blame, but we've won a European trophy in this stadium, so it's not all that. But there are a lot of problems, and maybe going down could lead to a big reset. But it's not over, but it is daylight robbery, and to see that, I'm a goalkeeper myself, and I just think back in the day they'd always give the foul on the goalkeeper, but these days not so much, and you see it on the big screen, you're like, it's a sport, it's competitive, and if he can't get his flapping at it, then that's his problem.
I was also a goalkeeper, and as you know, you've got to come and be commanding in that situation. Rye hasn't. Rye's come, he's flapped it, it's gone through his hands. There is no foul. He's just made an error. But it suits the narrative. It suits, it's not just in terms of, obviously they know who they want to win the league. They've always had friends at the FA, and they've always had those kind of favours done for them. But also in terms of, Spurs bring more eyes to the Premier League. They're worth more money to the Premier League than we are. We're expendable in this situation. Obviously, they prefer to keep us in the league. They prefer to send someone else down, I'm sure. But if it's a two-horse race between us and Spurs, we're not going to get any favours from VAR, any favours from the PGMOL, and we've seen that today.
We've got all the credentials of being world class. Really, we've got a big stadium. We've got the brand and all of that. We've got the big players, but we let ourselves down, and we should be like a Brighton or a Brentford or a Bournemouth, who have built themselves up and got a good structure, but we don't. So maybe it could be a blessing in disguise if we go down, but I'm not count our chickens yet. 2 big games to go. Let's hope Tottenham lose tomorrow.
Let's hope so. I would argue that in terms of the Brighton and Brentfords, you've got to be one of 2 ways to own a Premier League football club. You've got to have the multi-billions of the hedge funds that own, Chelsea, or the oil states that own, or Man City, Newcastle, etc. Or you've got to have the knowledge and the know-how, like Tony Bloom, like Matthew Benham, like Bill Foley at Bournemouth, where you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for, and you go and you make it work. And we don't have that. I mean, we've got a guy that doesn't have the wealth to compete with the hedge funds, and doesn't have the knowledge to compete with the Bournemouths and the Brightons of this world, and we're in the position we're in for exactly that reason.
I mean, it's ironic, the driving force, Karen Brady, who's behind moving to this stadium's gone. We're always going to be here. But yeah, I think it's a shame, because I think if we go down, I think Nuno would go. I think he's like, I can't be bothered to go through all that, try and get him up. And it's a shame, because I think he is building something. I know people berate him, but he is doing some good things. I watch his press conferences, and the way he conducts himself, I can only imagine he's doing some good stuff on the training ground. If he was to stay, and we can keep as many players as we can, but they're going to want to sell them, aren't they? Because there's a lot of money to pay. So yeah, I sense he might be going though, Sullivan. I don't know why, but he's the last one standing. Maybe he will.
I've got doubts over Kretinsky if he does invest in the club, because I think he's been quiet enough that he's part of the problem that's overseen this. And I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, that he's got the ambition to take this club forwards. I think he might just want to flip it for a profit, and I'm not sure he's going to want to speculate enough money to realise that. Are there any positives that we can looking for? I've asked this question before. I want to finish on a point.
Yeah.
Are there any positives? Is there any cause for optimism that, obviously, we know the club's financial situation, relegation feels inevitable at this time. 2 games to go. Spurs win on Monday, we lose at Newcastle. It's done before the final day. Is there anything though that you can cling to this that you're like, actually there's light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, in the short term, if you were to dress it up, a side that's been trying to win the title for years, a side that, it's a given they're going to win it, all season long they've been top of the table. On paper, based on other results here as well, we should get smashed, and we didn't. And for most of that game, we're in contention. We're fighting with a heavyweight. We're giving it our best, and we come close. They come close, but 0-0 for most of the game, and that's why it hurts. But I think the thing we can take from that, play like that in the last 2 games, we give ourselves every chance, and we can't control what Tottenham does.
Well done. Cheers, Luke.
Thank you.